Coach Kon, find what matters.
Mm.
Ooh, find what matters most. Yeah.
Exactly. There's a lot of things that matter, but what matters most is important to understand. I had a conversation, I did a little recording not too long ago, Linda. And one of the things that I've been trying to capture and explain to the people in my workshops is that when we talk about priorities in the plural sense, and people expect us to focus on our priorities or to prioritize and do all of these things,
Right.
you realize that over the years since the Industrial Revolution, we've bastardized the concept of priority. Priority in its roots is a singular term. Uh, in its most simplest and basic way, my grandfather used to say, "You cannot hold two melons under the same armpit, my grandson." And so it's important to understand that there's only room for one priority in your life at the top. Everything else is priority below that. It's not the
Yeah.
priority. So,
Yeah.
really understanding what matters most to you, the non negotiable, is a big part of that.
Yeah.
Is it your
And
well being? Is it your family? Is it your beliefs? Is it whatever it is? What is that non negotiable? And everything else is secondary and tertiary to that.
I
So,
love that concept. And Brene Brown talks about like five core values and then other people talk about three core values and I talk about one,
mhm,
just one. The soul works in onesies. So,
right,
don't bother, just that
right.
one. And then you'll know your next step, and if you could only do this one thing, what would
Mhm.
it be? Or if there, like we did these slides, if there's only one thing, you know, you would let the rest of us know if you were dying tomorrow, not about you, it's for us. What is it? And that's how we came up with these slides. So I love that.
Well, it's the fascinating thing is like when you were asking me the questions about this, the constraints that you posed, when you say only one, you get to pick one thing.
Let it come up. Stay out of your head. That's the best part about this
Correct.
exercise too.
Correct. Your subconscious, your inner soul knows. And
Yeah.
so it's important to understand that when we create constraints, a lot of times that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
You are forced to choose. That's where you truly get to the heart of it. I
Yeah.
ask people, for example, when I ask them about what is their one core value, for example, I ask them simply, what is it that when somebody does it, you get a visceral reaction?
Mm.
If you see somebody behaving in a certain way that really breaks that value, that goes against that one core value that you have, what is that? And you really realize that people really get to the heart of what matters to them, what
Right.
truly matters. When that one core value, when that one core priority
Mm.
is threatened, you know,
Yeah.
because you can't stand it.
Yeah, exactly. And Jenny Langren says she loves meeting people who are different from her because it makes it very clear to her where she ends and the
Mhm.
other person begins. And it's,
Yep.
oof, that's so cool. I love that one. Yeah. So, your environment, what comes up for you when you think about your environment?
Well, I've always been a big believer, and it's part of my personality to be able to look in my environment and understand that I have choices, like we said earlier. I have choices and I have the ability to shape my environment. My environment is a product of my decisions, my choices, my actions.
Yeah, like a
And
mirror.
yeah, I mean, everything around me reflects that. I find myself now, as I've evolved and I've taken greater responsibility for my work, my decisions, and everything else, I've truly spent time digging into what matters to me most. And now I am blessed to be in a position to have my work really fit around what matters to me, my
Oh,
family, the way that I want to live, my
yeah,
environment. And
yeah,
those are choices that I've made. And I realized that I could have made these choices not 13 years ago when I was forced to, but I could have made them 30 years ago or
yeah,
even earlier than that.
yeah.
I may not always like the answers that come up, but I can ask the questions of what it takes to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Terry, my husband, Ambassador Terry Nichols, and I were in high-end coaching. And that was the number one thing, build your business around your
Mhm.
life, build the
Yeah.
life that,
Yeah.
just on that daily, how do you want that to look? And then if you're going to add this into your business, and how is that going to fit it, and are you willing to give this up or take this on or whatever? And it's really helped us to grow, that step by step. And Stina Marie always quotes her husband, keep it sustainable. And it's like, yeah, what is that next thing we can do and still keep, what we're doing in our lives sustainable as well. I love
Correct.
it. Yeah. And North Star is kind of like, your passion. How do you see North Star?
Well, it's that guiding light. It's that point on the compass that will always keep you going in the right direction for you, not for anybody else.
Yeah.
Your North Star may be very different than somebody else's. And it's important to embrace that. You can't keep following others without really being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And so North Star truth, your purpose is essential in finding that space where you will be at your best.
Yeah.
Finding what matters to you, because it's almost like, for anybody that's ever sailed, when you have that wind in your sails pushing you forward, you know that feeling. You can go, it's almost effortless. It's flying over the water.
Yep.
But if you're going against things and going into a headwind, perhaps the obstacles that you're feeling, that you're seeing, that you're experiencing, perhaps all of this adversity that's coming your way is helping redirect you to the place. Maybe because things aren't working out because they're not meant to work out in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just, yes, that it's really not about being up in your head, like, what is my passion? And you're going to work on it. It's more like, what are people reflecting back to you? Like, oh, you're always like this, or you're always, not in a negative way, like people you really trust, but they can really, it's like, oh, you don't, especially maybe more for our, for lack of better words, gifts and talents. We don't even see them. We don't know that they're that we're different from somebody else. And so just getting feedback from people is such a great part of the guiding star, if you will. Do you agree?
Yeah. And I want to follow up on a point that you just made, because it's really struck an important thing that may go unnoticed by many.
Okay.
It's important to understand, when you talk about these gifts, these blessings, these talents that we have, right? For most of us, we take them for granted.
Yeah.
Because they come so easy to us, because they are our gifts, our blessings. And we don't think twice about it. We don't always realize that what comes so easily to us is very hard for other people. That's part of why they come to us as coaches, as teachers, as mentors, as support, as friends, to really be able to explore or to help them using our gifts and talents. And that's where these come really to the forefront, and we're able to do something with them. What's the point in having a gift when you never wrap it and give it to anybody?
Yeah. There's a flip on that though. Like, like I do clarity coaching, and I'm really good at it. I'm gotten great feedback. And then, getting clarity for yourself. And it's like, oh, there's another story. Sometimes there's a flip. We're so good at brothers. No, I'm so good at for ourselves. I love that. Okay.
Well, we've always given gifts. Sometimes the gifts don't hit the mark, Linda. Sometimes it's not what somebody was hoping for.
Forget to use our gifts on ourselves. I love it. Okay, so build your life. And we've kind of talked about that, build a business around your life, and build your life first, or whatever. So how do you see build your life? Find what matters most, build your life around.
Again, it comes back to really taking ownership of what is important to you. It requires self-reflection. It requires asking the questions of yourself and seeing what matters to me. It requires asking the question, what do I want my life to be like? What really lights me up? What really gets me excited? And then once you get the answers to those, it's not enough to just know. If anything, it's probably worse knowing and not having it. Now you have to do something. And that responsibility falls to each one of us. Follow your North Star, follow your path, build the life that matters to you, and build it around the things that matter. and make it work for you, because
Yeah.
that's truly when you're going to be happy. I mean, most people think that you're happy because you're successful. You're happy because you're rich. No, you are rich because you're happy. You're
There you
successful because you're
go.
happy.
Yes, sir. I love it.
And that means building your life around the things that really mean the most to you, that will really light you up. There is no hard day when you've done that.
I know,
There
right?
are, yeah, I mean, you get up in the morning, you're excited. You give your best because you're excited. You're engaged in what matters to you.
Yep.
You see that you're making a difference for yourself and for other people. That's the life that I believe we all deserve,
Yeah.
but we all have to fight for.
Yep. We're all going to a cliche. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So when you're
I've been
happy,
married for
you
almost
make
30 years. I
your
believe that.
loved ones happy. Right. I love it. Thank you, Coach Kon.